الحمد لله ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that endowed us with the bounty of fasting in this month and for praying night prayer. I thank Allah greatly and infinitely and ask Him more of His bounties, for He is the ever generous, and also ask Him to accept our deeds in this blessed month and to complete whatever inadequacies that may befall our fast due to our sins and negligence. I also bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that His messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the final prophet and messenger sent by Allah as a mercy to all of mankind and jinnkind, as a warner and bearer of good news for the believers and a warner for the disbelievers. Dear brothers and sisters, I instruct myself and you to have taqwa of Allah, to fear Allah as He deserves to be feared, to obey His instructions out of love for Him, for our own benefit, for our obedience or disobedience does neither increase nor decrease the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that all good deeds that we do, we are the ones that benefit from it, and all the evil deeds, we pay the price for it. Dear brothers and sisters, we have been living for the past 2 weeks, blessed days of Ramadan, performing fasting, praying Taraweeh, reading Quran, doing charity, visiting family members, doing dhikr, doing dua, supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, submitting to Allah's commandments, repenting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, each one of us according to whatever ability was given to him by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah to accept these deeds from us these past days and increase them in the reward, and we also ask Allah to protect us from the hellfire. In this blessed month, my dear brothers and sisters, there are many lessons to be learned and much to be contemplated. Number one, this month is a chance for each one of us to correct his intention for worship, his niyyah, and to purify this intention from any form of showing off or doing the worship for the sake of reputation alone. Because in Ramadan, when the person fasts, he truly does it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because each and every one of us has many chances throughout the day to break the fast. But because we keep our fast, that means that we are truly doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ever watching over us, and we know that if we break our fast, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will know that, even if other people do not know that. And by fasting, we are obeying Allah's commandment in the Quran, the famous ayah, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. Whomever among you is present during the month of Ramadan, then let him fast during that month. And as you know, Ramadan in the beginning was an optional form of worship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the believers in the beginning the option to either fast or feed one poor person. Later on, this instruction was abrogated and Ramadan became mandatory. So the person, when he is fasting and not breaking his fast when he is alone, he knows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ever watching over him, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the seen and unseen, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَسِعَ رَبُّنَا كُلَّ شَيْءٍ عِلْمًا. Allah has complete knowledge of everything. And as our beloved Messenger ﷺ said, اعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. Worship Allah as if you do see Him. But if you can't see Him, that means if you can't see Allah, then Allah can truly see you. This way the believer will feel the greatness of his Lord. Will feel that his Lord is ever watching over him, and he's going to refrain from disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So lesson number 1 is to practice, to refrain from disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ever watching over us. The second lesson is that the person, when he goes through hunger and thirst, he remembers the state of his brethren, the poor and destitute throughout the world, and those in need, such as the orphans, the widows, who do not find enough food to eat or water to drink throughout their lives, not only for 17 hours or so. As you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with many good things in this country and many other places. The person fasts for a few hours, 17 hours or so, and then the whole day he's preparing the various beautiful, tasteful food that he's going to break during the fast. Other people, they don't have this luxury. They fast their whole lives. They don't even have clean water to drink. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He puts us through the hardship of Ramadan, this should be a reminder for us to at least make dua for those people. If we can't help them through money, then at least we make dua for them, and we figure out that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us, has so many blessings over us. So we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes for His slaves to thank Him. وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed that if you thank my bounty on you, I shall give you more. And then if you disbelieve in this bounty, that means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give a person many houses, many wives, many children, much money, and he still complains that he does not have enough. This is kufr al-ni'mah. He is disbelieving in Allah's bounty, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may punish this person by taking away this bounty. As the scholar said, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is key to keeping Allah's bounty on you. So Allah has given you something good, you thank Allah for it so that you can keep that thing. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides who is going to be rich and who is going to be poor, who is going to die, and other matters. They are all within Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decree. So we should keep on thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He has given us so much food to eat, so many things to drink, while other people throughout the world, they are dying from hunger and they don't have anything to eat or drink throughout the year. Third lesson that we may learn from Ramadan is that all worldly difficulties come to pass. All worldly difficulties come to pass. Before the month starts, 30 days or 29 days look like a long time for us to observe the fast. And we may actually worry that we may not be able to do it. We may worry that this instruction and commandment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is too difficult for us. But before we know it, as of today, 15 days have already passed. We did not even feel the past 15 days. So similarly, the difficulties of this life, whether we survive for 60, 70, or 80 years, they will come to pass. The same way we had patience over food and water and marital relationship throughout the day, waiting for the sunset to break our fast, we should also have patience throughout our lives and wait for our own sunset when we die to have all that is good that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed us. Because it may seem like a difficult task to abstain from all the things that are haram around us. And we may say, well, it's too many years to live 60 years without enjoying your life. But before you know it, your 60, 70, or 80 years flashes before your eyes, and we all go to the grave. Similarly, Ramadan, when it starts, we say it's a whole month, it's 30 days, but before we know it, it flashes in front of our eyes, and then it's all gone. So the same way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enabled us to have patience and sabr throughout this month, we should practice to have sabr throughout this lifetime over the haram things and yearn for that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared for His believing slaves in the hereafter, when the believing slaves are kings in their castles, their wives are queens, living happily with their families, having their servants, having great honor, and meeting Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is one of the great bounties. As Bilal radiallahu anhu, actually as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was dying, Fatima radiallahu anha, she said, "Wa karba abah." What a great suffering my father is going through. The Prophet ﷺ said, no, لا كرب اليوم, لا كرب على أبيك بعد اليوم. There is no more suffering after today. Because the Prophet ﷺ was departed from this life to a better existence, to a better life. So this life may seem difficult, may seem too long, may seem too difficult to live within Allah's instructions. But believe me, brothers and sisters, the same way Ramadan flew before our eyes, our lives will flow before our eyes. The fourth lesson that we may learn from this blessed month is the fact that regardless of how long we think, that this life is long, it is truly short. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, قال كم لبثتم في الأرض عدد سنين قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعض يوم فاسأل العادين. When the people are resurrected, they're going to be asked, how many years did you spend on earth? People will reply, we only spent a day or a portion of a day. So ask those who are counted. So in other words, our whole lives may amount to nothing but a day or a portion of a day in the true manners of counting. The next lesson is that during the month of Ramadan, a person needs to refrain from backbiting, from fighting, cursing, lying, and any and all ill behavior that may cause the reward of the fast to decrease. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, مَنْ لَمْ يَدَعْ قَوْلَ الزُّورِ وَالْعَمَلَ بِهِ فَلَيْسَ لِلَّهِ حَاجَةً فِي أَنْ يَدَعَ طَعَامَهُ وَشَرَابَهُ. Whomever does not refrain from lying, cheating, or acting thereof, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need for this person to refrain from eating and drinking. So fasting is not only stopping from drinking and eating, it is also stopping from all the ill behavior that a person may otherwise be inclined to do when he is not fasting. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my dear brothers and sisters, command us to guard our fast and to obey our Lord and to leave all the ill behavior that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala despises in Ramadan. And as a result, after this month of Ramadan passes, we should try to keep it that way. Because this is the only way that you can say that you had a good month of Ramadan. Because anytime you enter a form of worship and you come out from that form of worship the same way you entered, without any increase in your faith or betterment in your behavior, then it's as if you did not perform that form of worship. If you perform the form of worship, fasting as a matter of fact, and Taraweeh in the Quran, in the correct way, believe me, my brothers and sisters, at the end of Ramadan, you will feel that your faith, your iman has gone up, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you what is called tazkiyah, purification of the soul. And this is one of the signs that our worship was accepted. So this is one of the signs that a person should look for after the end of Ramadan. If we entered Ramadan with certain behaviors and came out with the same behaviors, then that means that we just observed the fast without any actual reward that is concrete, that can concretely be measured. The sixth lesson, my brothers and sisters, from Ramadan is that the believer makes much dua in Ramadan. And once Ramadan is gone, we should continue making a lot of dua. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, dua, ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. Dua is worship. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and your Lord said, ask me and I shall grant you whatever you ask for. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. As we said, the month of Ramadan has so many lessons to be learned from. We have many lessons to learn from Ramadan. We should look back at these past 15 days and see and evaluate our deeds. If we see that we have done enough, then we should thank Allah for that, and we should increase our deeds at the end of Ramadan, because the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِخَوَاتِمِهَا. Surely, the most important of deeds are the last ones. So we may start a form of worship in a great spirit and with so much enthusiasm, but the important thing is the end of this worship. We have to complete this worship in a very good manner, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give us our reward at the end. Because as the Prophet ﷺ said, surely the laborer gets his reward, his feet, at the end of the job. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive those pious believers at the end of Ramadan. They asked him, O Prophet, does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive on the night of power, Laylatul Qadr? The Prophet ﷺ said, no, it is on the last night of Ramadan. And this is also another point that I need to bring to the attention of my brothers and sisters, is that Laylatul Qadr, unlike it is commonly known among the Muslims, is not necessarily the 27th, the night of the 27th. The night of the 27th may be the night of the power, may be Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr, as the Prophet ﷺ said, in the beginning, he was given the exact time frame. But after that, two companions argued among themselves about when the night of power is. So the knowledge of when the night of power is was lifted, was taken back, was taken away. And then what was given to us is an indication that Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, happens when? On the last 10 nights of Ramadan, on the odd nights. On the odd nights of Ramadan. It can also be on the last night of Ramadan. So if Ramadan has 30 days, Laylatul Qadr also can be on the night of the 30th. So a person should not try to be a businessman when it comes to worship. and say, I'm going to concentrate on offering my worship only on the night of the 27th. I'm going to gamble one night only. Because as we said, my brothers, if you can please move up a little bit, make some room for your brothers in the back. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you a reward for your action. So we said that the night of power happens on one of the odd nights of the last 10 days of Ramadan. The night of the 21st, of the 23rd, of the 25th, of the 27th, of the 29th, and if Ramadan has 30 days, it can also be on the night of the 30th of Ramadan. Laylat al-Qadr has some signs. Laylat al-Qadr has some signs. On that night, it is very peaceful outside. Salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. The weather is neither cold nor hot. So there is sakina on that night. Feels peaceful, not loud, neither cold nor hot, and sometimes there is fog that descends. Sometimes there is fog that descends on that night, and these some of the signs of the Qadr. The following morning, when the sun rises, as the Prophet ﷺ said, the sun looks like the moon. It's not very bright. You can actually look at it. Usually on a normal morning, when you look at the sun, your eyes hurt. But on the day following Laylat al-Qadr, the sun has a brightness that is almost like the moon. A person can actually look at it. So these are signs that if a person thinks that he may have stood up in prayer in Laylat al-Qadr, these are signs to look for. But as we said, we should not try to gamble. We should not try to be cheap businessmen when it comes to our worship. We should try to increase our worship in the last 10 days of Ramadan. Whomever is able to do i'tikaf, let him do i'tikaf. Whomever takes out zakat, let him choose either the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves these days, the good deeds in these days rather, or let him do that in the month of Ramadan, because this is also a blessed month, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases the rewards for His slaves when they do undertake these forms of worship in these blessed days. So if you want to be a smart person, look for the best times to do whatever the deeds you want to do, such as zakat, sadaqah, visiting your family members. And also in this month, my dear brothers and sisters, think about the day when we will enter the grave. Think about the day when we will die. It will happen. I guarantee you that. We will all die sooner or later. Your children, how will they be if you were to die today? This is a question that I and every brother needs to ask, especially in this country. Because of the peer pressure, our sons and daughters are surrounded by people that have a faith that is different from us. And as human beings, we are weak. So our children are in a big danger if we do not spend enough time educating them about this religion. Because each one of us has a job, and each one of us has problems, and we do not spend enough time with our kids, regardless of however much time you think you are spending with your kids. It is not enough, because the time you spend with them is nothing compared to the time they spend on the internet. It is nothing compared to the time they spend in school with their friends watching TV. Their hearts are being impacted. So our questions to ourselves: if I were to die today, did I prepare my children to live and remain as Muslims behind me or not? Because your children, if they become disbelievers, they will actually complain to Allah about you on the day of judgment. Allah says in Surah Al-A'raf, حتى إذا اداركوا فيها قالت أخراهم لأولاهم ربنا هؤلاء أضلونا فآتهم عذابا ضعفا من النار قال لكل ضعف ولكن لا تعلمون وقالت أولاهم لأخراهم فما كان لكم علينا من فضل فذوقوا العذاب بما كنتم تكسبون. On the day of judgment, the offsprings, the children, will blame their parents and forefathers because they were the cause of their disbelief. They were the cause. They did not teach them about Islam. They say, oh Allah, give them twice the punishment, because they were the cause for our suffering, because we're in hellfire today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, no, both of you will have twice the punishment. The forefathers and the offsprings, because each and every one of you has been given the da'wah, has been given the message, but you chose to disbelieve, so don't blame your forefathers. And then the forefathers will also say, then they see the punishment. You did not have any quality over us. So here, you may think that you are doing your son and your daughter a favor by letting her dress opposite to what the Islamic teaching is, by not telling her to wear hijab. She's still young. She's 15, she's 20, she's 30, she's whatever. You think you're doing her a favor. No, you are doing her and yourself a disfavor, and you are preparing the hellfire for you and your children. If you love your children, save them from hellfire. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Protect yourselves and your children from hellfire. What did you do to protect your children from the influence of the disbelievers around you? We came to them, they did not come to us. We live among them. It's normal for them to try to steer us towards their culture, to steer us towards their religion. It is normal, for everyone calls to that in which he believes in. You call a disbeliever to Islam, and a disbeliever will call you to disbelief. It is normal. So we are the victims. Our children, our sheep in a slaughterhouse, as many of the scholars say. If we do not take enough effort and enough time to educate them, believe me, my brothers and sisters, we will regret it in this dunya, and we will regret it in the hereafter. In this dunya, Allah will make you suffer, as we know many cases when children will call the cops and send their parents to jail because their parents did not teach them well, and then they come at a certain age and tell them, don't do this, don't do that. You do not have the right to tell them to not do certain things if you did not raise them on that behavior. So this month of Ramadan should really be a stopping point for us to re-evaluate, where are we going? Where are our children going? Are they in the masjid? Why is it only the old people that go to pray? They may have school, granted. What if they come back from school? Maghrib is at what time? Isha is at what time? Tomorrow is Saturday. Why don't the kids come pray Taraweeh? They will blame you in the hereafter. This is not me who is saying it, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who is saying it. So my dear brothers and sisters, we should take this chance in this month of Ramadan to see where we came from, evaluate our past deeds, and know where we are going. And again, always ask yourselves a question. If the buck were to stop here, if this was my last day, what did I leave behind me? The Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا مَاتَ ابْنُ آدَمْ انْقَطَعَ عَمْلُهُ إِلَّا مِنْ ثَلَاثٍ صَدَقَ جَارِيَةٍ أَوْ عِلْمٍ يُنْتَفَعُ بِهِ أَوْ وَلَدٌ صَالِحٌ يَدْعُو لَهُ. When the son of Adam perishes and dies, his deeds stop except from three things. An everlasting charity. He left behind him money to educate people, to feed the orphans or the widows. Number two, a beneficial knowledge. He taught Quran. He found some medicine to cure diseases. Some knowledge like this. These two are usually difficult for most people to do. The third one is an easy one. وَلَدٌ صَالِحٌ يَدْعُو لَهُ. A pious son or daughter to make dua for him. Do we have pious children? This question, I pose it to myself and you, and I will let each and every one of us answer. It is not too late, my dear brothers and sisters. If we did not do the correct way, we did not do what is necessary with our children, we can always start today and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will guide them back. How many of our children are in jail? How many of our children are smoking drugs? How many of our children belong to gangs? Why is that? We are Muslims. This is not the film of a Muslim. We should leave the mindset that we brought back from home. At home, your child grows being a Muslim because society is a Muslim. Here, you leave him, he's going to grow a disbeliever because society is a disbeliever. So I do not want to say more about this subject. I think we're all adults and we all understand this matter. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us repentance. اللهم وفقنا في هذا الشهر المبارك لاغتنام الأوقات والمسابقة إلى الخيرات والتزود من القربات والمنافسة في الطاعات يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين وتقبل إليك التائبين واعف عن المسيئين وارحم الميتين الموحدين واهد الضالين الغاوين يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم انصر من نصر الدين واخذل من خذل المسلمين. اللهم من أراد بهذا الدين خيرا فوفقه اللهم في ذلك، ومن أراد به سوءا فاجعل اللهم تدميره في تدبيره. اللهم اهد ولاة أمور المسلمين. اللهم ألف بين قلوبهم. اللهم ألف بين قلوبهم. اللهم ادفع الفتن عن المسلمين يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا. اللهم اشف مريضنا. اللهم انصر مجاهدينا. اللهم اعل كلمة الحق. اللهم تب على أبنائنا وبناتنا. اللهم اهدهم بما فيه الخير ورضاك يا أرحم الراحمين. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. There is no room for praying, my brothers. There's also another room in the laundry room. There is a speaker there, so if there is no room here, you may join the other area and pray with us.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا واعتدلوا وتراصوا سدوا الخلال حادوا بين مناكب سووا صفوفكم اتموا الصف الأول فالأول. استووا. استووا. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة وزرابي مبثوثة أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. I wanted to remind you that after every Asr prayer, we spend about 20 minutes trying to go over the book of mistakes of people during prayer. So if you have 20 minutes to spare after Asr, maybe you can join the halaqah because the angels make dua for the people who are gathering in the masjid trying to understand their religion as the Prophet ﷺ told us. الناس ما شاء الله.